You're on 100.3 FM at the Sounds of MacArthur. Greg Bryant with you for the Aussie Collection Show, just on at 10:05. It's now time for Acoustics in the Room, and this week we have the super talented Andrew Swift from Melbourne. Welcome.
Thanks, mate. How you doing?
Good, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And I did mention you on the top of my bucket list to get in the studio.
Yes.
I'm glad we could make it happen.
Mate, I know you've been asking me for a while to come in, and I just, being from Melbourne, I never happened to be in Sydney or in the Sydney area on a Monday, so as soon as I realised that I was going to be, I got in touch and said, hey, mate, let's do this.
Thanks a lot.
No worries.
So when you were growing up, was there a particular moment that made you realise you wanted to do music?
I was pretty late getting into music. I started on the drums when I was in high school. We have one of those music classes when you go into year 7 and, you know, they sort of put you on a whole bunch of different instruments, and I started playing drums. I thought that was pretty good and had lessons for like 4 years. And but then there was a moment when I was going through a bit of a tough time in high school in the later years, and I ended up going on a 10-day school camp, and they had a guitar there. It was 10 days of hiking, and someone showed me how to play the intro for Sweet Home Alabama and the riff for Summer Lovin' from Grease. They were the first two things I learned how to play on guitar. And for me, I just went home. My stepbrother had a guitar that he never played. I started playing it, and it sort of it gave me goals to set myself and really helped me get out of that dark place that I was in.
Do you still play Summer Lovin' on you?
I probably could, but it's not my go-to.
And I was reading a story in the Capital News on the weekend about a high school teacher that said that you would become a lead singer.
Yeah,
tell us about that.
Pretty much. So I had a couple of guitar lessons, but it was mainly, you know, just I'd go and get him to teach me song, and it was actually, I think it was one of his friends or something. They sent a little recording of me, and the feedback was, one of the teachers was that I don't have a bad voice, but it's not really a lead voice. You know, you probably get away with doing some backing vocal stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I wasn't in a band. It was just me playing on my own. And so it was kind of disheartening, but at the same time, I'm the kind of person, if someone says that, I'm like, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. And I like to think that I've done that.
I think you have. Have you sent him your CD?
No, not yet. I wouldn't even know where to send it to. But yeah, I mean, and I believed it too. I believed it for some time. I was in a band straight out of school, and I just did guitar work and backing vocals. So yeah.
And what about growing up? Any musical influences? Different artists?
Well, it's funny growing up. I lived with my mum and my sister, so there was a lot of pop music in the house. So there were like 2 cassette tapes in my mum's car that were just on constant rotation for as long as I can remember. And it was a Kate Ceberano a record, which I can't even remember which one it was, and Jenny Morris's album Shiver. And so to this day, that's still one of my favourite. That's one of my dirty secret. Not even dirty secret. It's one of my, if I'm driving along and I need to pick me up on a long road trip, put that on and I just sing along to every word. So there was a lot of pop stuff, but I think Van Morrison was, all my friends were sort of listening to Nirvana and the grunge thing, and I was listening to Van Morrison and really loving all that, he's got such a, he has variety in his songs, you got that jazzy one with Moondance, and you say he's got that jazzy side of him, then he's got his blues side and a bit of a country side as well. So it's just a nice blend throughout his styles.
Yeah. Well, you have brought your guitar, which is a treat for us. I'd love to hear a live one.
Yeah,
what do
sure.
You want to play for us?
Why don't I play Georgia for you right now? We're going to do a couple, aren't we?
Yep.
All right, let's we'll kick it off. This will be a nice little warm up one for my voice, I think. All right. My southern belle, I hope you're well. Last time that we spoke, I couldn't tell. Your mind gets restless when you're alone. Sleep don't come so easy when I'm gone. I've spent weeks and I keep your picture close to my heart in an attempt to bridge the distance when we're apart. I can't wait to wake up in Georgia next to you, that gorgeous southern smile. They say home is where the heart don't feel so lonesome, and that's why I've got Georgia on my mind. There's a heartache motel with a twin-size bed that I'll find when my day is done, and I'll rest my head, and I'll dream of Georgia. I'll dream of home. I'll dream of long cold nights with you wrapped in my arms. I can't wait to wake up in Georgia next to you, that gorgeous southern smile. And they say home is where the heart don't feel so lonesome. That's why I've got Georgia on my mind. They say home is where the heart don't feel so lonesome, and that's why I've got Georgia on my mind.
Andrew Swift, that was awesome.
Thank you, man.
Big treat for having listened to that in the studio.
Oh, thanks.
So how do you have your inspiration when you're writing?
I got to say, I must admit, I'm quite a slow songwriter. But I usually, all my songs usually stem from some sort of influence or something that's happened to me at some point. So, I mean, that song came about, it's funny, I wrote that one as a bit of an emotional exercise. I said to Greta Zilla when we were traveling around, I said, it worries me a little bit. I don't really miss anybody when I'm traveling except for my dog. And well, she thought that was normal. And apparently it's not. We're meant to miss people as well. So I was over in Georgia in America, and I met this beautiful woman with an amazing smile, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to write a song where I pretend to miss her. And she doesn't know that I was pretending. I told her that she inspired the song. So that's sort of where that came from, and just imagining what it's like to, and remembering to when I did sort of miss someone, and it was good practice for me. But all the songs stem from something, but I do like to exaggerate and use a bit of fiction in there as well.
And you did mention Greta Zilla, and you've been touring around a lot with her. What's that like?
Yeah, well, it's all right. It's a lot of fun. We've become best friends over the last couple of years with all the traveling and the music that we do together. So, she did all the backing vocals on my record for me. But yeah, we've been doing the whole Caravan Park tour, which is, we do it on our way to Tamworth. We hug the coast, and we get to see a whole lot of the southern coast of New South Wales, and we do a different caravan park every night and play to, young families and some grey nomads that wouldn't usually come see us in a bar in Sydney or Melbourne. So it's a lot of fun.
But it sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. There's a lot of laughs. We, if you see us do a show together, that it just gets ridiculous with our banter. It's, we don't take it too seriously. We like to have a laugh, and that's very much what it's like when we're traveling in the car as well.
And if Greta's listening, I'd love to get her in the studio.
I'll chat to her and say, look, you need to get in the studio with Greg.
And you do have a new album out, Call Out the Carry. Can you tell us about that new album?
Yeah, so the new album, I'm stoked. This is my first album sort of released into the country music scene. I was a bit late to the whole party. I fought it for a long time, even though I think it's always been there a bit. So I recorded this one in Sydney with Matt Fell at Love Hurts Studios. And a collection of songs. 8 of them I've written. 2 of them have been written by friends of mine. One is one of Greta's songs, which is Unforgiven Sins. And then there's a song in there called Ball and Chain, which is by a local lady in my area by the name of Kathy Dobson. She's a fantastic songwriter. And so these songs, I called it Call Out for the Cavalry because there's a bit of a underlying theme throughout the songs, where there's usually a character in there who could do with some help, or, asks for help and it doesn't it gets ignored, or, just someone who could use some comforting. So it's a line out of Blood Moon High, which is one of the tracks, and I just thought it summed it up quite nicely.
And I did notice that you're doing a song with Catherine Britt on the album. How'd that come about?
Yeah, mate.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. I'd met Catherine once at Tamworth, and even then I was an awkward fanboy when I was chatting to her. And I believe I went up to her at a bar and said, "Catherine, can I please buy you a drink? It's not in a hitting on you kind of way, just I appreciate what you do kind of way." And both her and her husband James thought it was pretty funny. So then when it came time to call her, I felt like I was in high school asking a girl out on a date because someone gave me a number. He go, "Yeah, she's cool. Just give her a call. Just ask her." And I was so nervous, and I was ringing Greta for advice. What do I say? And she was no help at all. She just told me to start with hello. But it was different to high school because she said yes, so it was good. But yeah, look, it's great. I'm so stoked that she agreed to be on it. It was a nervous wait for me because I asked her and sent through some songs, and I didn't hear back from her. And I believe she just got busy. But I caught up with Fanny Lumsden, who was on tour with her at the time, and I felt like I was in high school. So, "Fanny, can you please put in a good word with Catherine for me?" And she got back to me after some prompting, and she goes, "I just completely forgot to reply. I'm sorry. Yes. I'd love to do a song." So that's how that came about.
I think I'd be speechless too if I met Catherine Britt.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. She's very, very laid back and very easy to talk to.
So what's coming up next for you?
A lot of touring. To try and promote the album, and I'm sure there'll be another single or 2 come off it, hopefully. So actually I just found out today, or we were allowed to announce today, that I'll be doing joining Shannon Noll for his album tour, which is in May. I'll be doing 3 of the 5 shows, I believe. So I'll be doing Dapto, Melbourne and Brisbane. So that's going to be a bit of fun.
Exciting. Yeah.
And Greta and I are organising some shows at the moment as well for a bit later in the year.
You have to come up this way with Greta for a show.
Yeah, I know. We need to stop in.
Yeah. So where can people go to get the album or find more information?
You can get the album absolutely everywhere that you buy your music, from all your good record stores to even some of the bad ones should have it too. So, but it's I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. Social Family Records, which are a Sydney-based label, picked it up, and so it's in your JB Hi-Fis, it's in your Sanities, it's in your independent stores. If it's not, tell them that they need to get it in there because they can. But it's also online as well, so iTunes, Spotify, all that sort of thing.
And everyone should go out and grab a copy because you're a big talent.
Oh, thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
And do you think we can get another live one?
Yeah, for sure. I'll give you a choice. Do you want to hear Runaway Train or Reckless Desires?
Oh, Reckless Desires.
Reckless Desires? Sure. Well, this is, for those listening at home, this was the first single off the album. And I played this as my Star Maker Grand Finalist song start of last year, and I as anyone who knows, I didn't win. The lovely Rachel Fahim won. She's fantastic. So I've often introduced this song as, this is one of the songs that lost Star Maker for me. It's a bit of a joke, but it's a story of a guy who had it all and it wasn't enough, and his desire for more ended up causing him to lose it all and the woman that he loved. And at this point he's reflecting back on when times were good and just realising what he did have. All right. I've been stripped of my crown, I watched the walls come tumbling down, while my hair a beautiful mess. You were my queen and I'd never forget how we sang. I was the biggest damn bopper on the streets of this town. Nobody moved their bodies till I made a sound. Dreams insatiably met. I was a king, but I'd never forget that we sang to the sounds of our heroes in backyards. Well, into the evenings we sang. Oh, how we sang. Well, the drink twisted my turn, from inspired to broken and burned. I heard you pray, I heard you cry. You put up with demons, you put up with lies. Truth is you stayed in the hope things would pick up if the wagon came home. Oh, we sang to the sounds of our heroes in backyards. Well, into the evenings we sang. Oh, how we sang. And we were lost in the arms of a fire, our hearts full of reckless desires. We sang. Oh, how we sang. Yeah. All my great and now a ghost, a tale for a reason to boast, that we sang to the sounds of our heroes in backyards. Well, into the evenings we sang. Oh, how we sang. Oh, we sang to the sounds of our heroes in backyards. Well, into the evenings we sang. Oh, how we sang. And we were lost in the arms of a fire, our hearts full of reckless desires. We sang. Oh, how we sang. Oh, 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 oh.
Andrew Swift, that's one of my favourites, actually.
Oh, thanks, mate.
So I
Cheers.
play that one a lot on there. It's
Thanks,
awesome.
mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for coming all this way.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for the support, mate. I really do appreciate it.
Anytime, do you think, since you come all this way, do you think we can have one more?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to hear Runaway Train now?
Sound good?
All right, let's see. I might need to quickly tune up, so excuse me, listeners, while I tune because I care. I want it to sound okay for you.
Professional, you see.
I'm trying to be.
At least they know that it's live.
That's right. No pre-records here. All right.
No.
Here's the current single. This one's Runaway Train. I'm a runaway train on a dead-end line. There's work on the tracks, but it's gonna take time. The engine's full of coal and burning bright, but the driver's passed out on moonshine. Ain't nobody gonna blow that whistle. No way, no how. I got lost in ruby lips and the way her skirt embraced her hips. I had that devil fire burning in my bones. Lord, have mercy on me and save my soul. got crazy. I got me, thought she could take my name. I had that whiskey fire running through my veins. Oh, 3 rocks, 2 fingers, and a crack shot aim. I'm a runaway train on a dead-end line. There's work on the tracks, but it's gonna take time. The engine's full of coal and burning bright, but the driver's passed out on moonshine. Ain't nobody gonna blow that whistle, no way, no how. Mama cried, her daddy raged. Shotgun wedding couldn't make me stay. I had that engine fire burning red hot coals. The Lord can't help me, none can save my soul. Well, there's a station just around the bend. When I pull the brakes, that's when the trouble starts again. I'm a runaway train on a dead-end line. There's work on the tracks, but it's gonna take time. The engine's full of coal and burning bright, but the driver's passed out on moonshine. Ain't nobody gonna blow that whistle, no way, no how. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna blow that whistle, no way, no how.
Andrew Swift there. Thanks for stopping by. It's been an honour having you in.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you, mate.
Come back anytime you're in Sydney.
Will do.
Thank you.